A Johnson County man on the brink of death needed air. What he got was a new set of lungs and a new friend who bonded with him over something special they had in common. Jason Hopkins is a man who has served his country.
I spent 8.5 years in the Marine Corps, traveled the world, toured Afghanistan, and ended up back here.
A Marine who made a new friend in his coming back story, not overseas, but here in the homeland.
I hope Jason and I will be friends for a very long time.
Veterans stick together regardless.
Spring of 2023, Jason started feeling different.
I could not breathe.
He felt like he had the flu. Over the next couple of months, he was in and out of the hospital, feeling better and feeling worse. Doctors at IU Health discovered Jason's lungs were severely damaged, and he needed a transplant. 16 hours after he was placed on the list, Jason matched with a deceased donor and received new lungs on July 15th.
After the transplant, he had about one good week.
Jason's wife, Kara, got a call from the hospital. Her husband's body was rejecting the lungs.
Just going from everything's okay to no, nothing is okay.
Jason had to undergo special treatments to offset the rejection and was placed for the second time on something called ECMO.
I definitely would not be here today without it. I had no clue what ECMO was.
ECMO is a type of artificial life support for patients whose lungs and heart aren't functioning properly. It continuously pumps blood out of the body and sends it through a series of devices that add oxygen, remove carbon dioxide, and then pumps the blood back into the body. IU Health has a whole team dedicated to this work.
My desire has always been to take care of the sickest patient I could get my hands on. The ECMO patients are the sickest patients we have.
It's where Dennis Disney met Kara and Jason Hopkins.
When I first met him, it was like, okay, odds are this guy's a veteran. But of course, like any father, Jason's wife brought in pictures of his family. And the pictures were posted on top of a background that said USMC.
Dennis is on the ECMO team, but he can recognize a fellow serviceman.
I think my time in the military prepped me for what I do here.
And he had to prep Kara for what she would endure.
I was medically induced for the majority of the time.
There's a blessing and a curse to being an ECMO patient. The blessing, Jason doesn't remember. The curse, Kara will never forget.
There were days when he wasn't, he had no recognition that I was even in the room, and having the ECMO team there and having them be present with me was kind of nice, because I didn't have to just sit there in silence, and I didn't have to sit there alone with my thoughts.
Kara got to know Dennis during her husband's time on ECMO. As Jason's health improved,
Dennis was amazing.
He built his own bond with Dennis too.
We all kind of chewed the same mud at some point, and that brotherhood persists, I hope, for the rest of our lives.
The two got to talking about an organization Dennis has volunteered with for 7 years, the Indy Honor Flight.
We've taken over 3,300 veterans to Washington, D.C. We have 1,000 veterans on the waiting list. Jason's father-in-law is one of them.
And now Dennis has Jason interested in the work Indy Honor Flight does. And the two each have a new friend, bonded through their service for their country and bonded through a life-threatening experience.
To see someone that sick, to see someone that close to the edge, and to be part of the group that got to get him away from the edge and back to his family, yeah, that's a pretty rewarding experience.
Regardless of what's going on, veterans stick together.
Good to see you, man.
Well, Jason is 42 now. He's out of the hospital and has returned to his Greenwood home with his wife and 2 daughters. He's already back to work and even received a promotion. And he's excited to start volunteering with Dennis at Indy Honor Flight.